Welcome everybody, my name is Michael and today we're discussing about Beeple. He is an up-and-coming artist that is now known through the cryptocurrency and blockchain world because of his crazy NFT prices. Now, not a lot of people may know about Mike Winkelmann, that's his real name. Let me tell you the short version. He is an artist that has been working for the past 13-14 years designing digital art. And he had his website, he had his social media profiles, and he was releasing art on there for free for over a decade. He has thousands and thousands of pieces that he put many hours into. He released them for free, or some pieces he sold for, $10, $50. No piece throughout that entire time was sold for a price more than $100 up until his first NFTs. And just like most artists, NFTs can range in price, but if you're just getting into them, they usually start at a lower price in terms of your first collection, and then by your second, third, fourth collection. Even if you're a well-known artist outside of the cryptocurrency world, people want to build communities around this. They want to have promotions. You're building a fan base. You're kind of reinventing yourself with NFTs. And so people really get upset when there's other artists and celebrities who might be going in it for a quick cash grab, and that's really easy to spot. For example, yesterday on Nifty Gateway, there was a YouTuber who had increased fees for reselling, and unlike most other marketplaces, an artist, if he goes to a normal studio, or to a gallery, or anywhere where he's auctioning his pieces, he might get a premium here and there, but it's not going to continue infinitely. While online through NFTs, there are some platforms like Nifty Gateway where they have an automatic 10% fee that goes to the artist. Well, this YouTuber raised it to 15%, and it ends never. It is infinite, meaning on the secondary market, in terms of the marketplace, if someone purchased that piece, artist, which in this case, if it's 20%, gets 15%. So if you're selling one piece for $10,000, you get an additional $1,500. At this point, the value might rise in terms of resale value, and it might go from $10,000 to $20,000. The buyer puts it onto the marketplace, and the artist gets an additional 15% of that. Then it's resold and resold and resold, and if it keeps growing in value, the artist keeps collecting money. Even if it's the 100th person who purchases it, that artist gets 15% every single time. And some of these pieces are selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's a pretty big chunk of the action for the artist. And there's other artists who are selling stuff for $1,000, $2,000, but they're selling a few hundred of these minted editions. So a few hundred times 1,000, 2,000 is a few $100,000. If they get 10 or 15% from reselling, and some pieces might get resold multiple times, they have another few $100,000 for themselves just from that one collection. And some of these artists do a second drop, a third drop, and you see where this starts getting into these pretty big numbers. Well, Beeple, some people might compare him to these other artists where it's a quick cash grab, but they don't really realize that he's put in a lot more work. And some of these recent celebrities have never even been involved in art. They never created this art. They've had to collaborate with other artists to actually put it in 4D or animated or whatever they put online. And that's all right. You're able to work with somebody. That's perfectly fine. So this craze started over the past few months, and Mr. Mike Winkelmann, his first piece sold for $66,666.66. And by December, he sold over $3.5 million. By January, one of the NFTs that was sold for $66,666.66 was resold for $6.6 million. So Christie's helped auction off Beeple's artwork, and that was where the millions of dollars started coming in. But they decided to do it again, and this time they offered every day the first 5,000 days, and here's how it looks like. It's the first purely digital work of art ever offered by a major auction house. So a lot of people outside of cryptocurrency have no idea what's happening, and they just assume that Beeple and some of these artists who have been working on this stuff for years and years, and now with the invention of NFTs, they finally have a platform. Think of it like Patreon for YouTube creators, except this time it's for artists. And just like some old and ancient artists and some even living artists have had their values skyrocket because some billionaire or multi-millionaire sees value in their pieces, some of these digital artworks, now that it's safe and it's recorded, all of this data is on the blockchain, multi-billionaires and nouveau millionaires with newfound wealth from their Ethereum investments from 2015 or early Bitcoin investors, they don't care about spending a few $1 million here and there. And that's why we have to look at who was bidding for Beeple, who was bidding for his earlier auctions, and we're going to have a video on that. But hint, hint, one of the people who was one of the last bids was Justin Sun, and he bid up to $60 million. Justin Sun has been involved in a fair amount of news articles as of late, and he's been investing $10 million here, and what was it, $15 million in GameStop, another $5 million here. He had his lunch with Warren Buffett. That was kind of a charity thing, so that was a few million dollars. And these are token creators. These are ICO founders. These are exchange founders. These are some of the early Bitcoin investors. These are people who have made millions and millions and millions of dollars. And sometimes these people now own more than certain hedge funds, and they've never been involved in the business world. That's how crazy it is. Some of these early investors are programmers. Some of them were teenagers just living in their parents' house. They're investing a few $100s in Bitcoin here and there every few months, and it started growing and skyrocketing, and then they got more and more involved, and suddenly before you know it, you have multimillionaires, and now they have so much money that they don't know what to do with it. So they think, hey, maybe I'll buy myself a house, maybe I'll buy myself a few houses, but then you still have millions more. You believe in cryptocurrency, you already have a lot of money in cryptocurrency, you've made money off of cryptocurrency, and you see this new craze, which makes sense. You know that famous sculptures and famous paintings have gone up in value, and you see these multi-billionaires from New York investing in art, and you think to yourself, maybe there's something here. I know about cryptocurrency, and there is a NFT craze right now. So some of these people started investing, and to them, they don't care about these amounts. That's why I only suspect that these amounts will go crazier, to higher points, and there will be an artwork that sells for more than $100 million. And you might be wondering, well, why $69.3 million? I've seen this on a car auction website where people, just for fun, have put $69,420, $42,000 because of the first three letters. People doing small little bidding wars, playing around with each other. There was NFTs on Nifty Gateway for $888,888.88. And you might think that's kind of stupid, but then you see even just look at Elon Musk, one of the world's richest people. If you go to his website, two things. The prices of some of the Teslas, he did change at one point the Tesla price to $69,420. And if you spell out the model names, the S, E, X, and Y, it spells out a very special word. So some of these people are just having fun. They don't care. They have so much money that's why probably $69.3 million was chosen. So Justin Sun was beat out, and yeah, there we go. The anonymous buyer from Christie's, we don't know who it is, but we can suspect it's probably someone who has made quite a fair bit of money through cryptocurrency. Or they're just a risk taker, because if you're outside of cryptocurrency and the first thing you do is one of the largest investments ever made on NFT, and it's a world record breaking event, that's just crazy. So most likely it was a crypto multi-millionaire or even billionaire who has invested into this. People from the outside world look at it as like, oh, it's just a JPEG file. Why can't I just take a screenshot? I mean, you just saw it in the video. You saw the artwork. It's called 5,000 Days. And what about copyright? What about this? They don't understand that it's owning the actual art itself. Just like, yeah, you can take pictures of the Mona Lisa, and sure, you can't really own the Mona Lisa technically, but if it did have a price on it, somebody would want to pay for it. Whether it's $1 billion, $10 billion, who knows? Technically, it's priceless. Why? Because it's different having a screenshot and a picture of whatever you're taking and actually owning the art piece. And for people who don't really understand, well, it's digitalized, that's where the future is heading. There's a lot of people who think that their small businesses won't be destroyed by Amazon. Of course they will be destroyed. You're going to go bankrupt. There's a lot of people who don't understand that crypto is going to come into almost every single household, whether it's in the next 5 years, 10 or 20 years, whether it is Bitcoin or it's a digital dollar or it's a digital whatever currency from whatever country you're from. The old generation thinks, oh, it's still a scam. Well, who's paying for this? They're stupid. They don't know what to do with their money. No one's stupid who has $69 million. That's more money than 99.9% of the planet will ever have throughout their entire lifetime. And Beeple, the creator of this art, well, he's rich, so congratulations to him. He joined the ultra high net worth club, which is above $30 million. He is set for life, and hopefully he continues selling his art. And by the way, this piece was listed for $100. So people, wanted him to be rich, but they also see value in this, just as cars, just as watches, just as anything else that's going up in crazy values. There are Ferraris that were produced for a few $100,000 and they're selling for 50, 60, $70 million. The McLaren F1, even after it was completely totaled and crashed, still went up in terms of a few $1,000,000 to over $10 million. Some are selling for $30 million in pristine condition. There are pristine condition Toyotas selling for $1,000,000. Yeah, Toyotas. And this is digital art. There's no way to ruin it. It's on your blockchain as long as you don't screw up with it. Which, by the way, if you have millions of dollars in Bitcoin or in Ethereum, you're probably not an idiot. You're not going to do something stupid. I suspect, just like with normal art, there's crazy insurance placed on this. This is just a precedent for what's to come. So what do I think about NFTs? There's a lot of people who don't understand what they are, and that's okay. They're going to come around to it. I think that there is a little bit of too much hype that's going on right now in the NFT space, and I think that's going to die down, just like with cryptocurrencies and ICO stage and DeFi. There was thousands of projects, and only the top 10, maybe the top 5% of projects stuck around. And I think the same thing will happen with NFTs. A lot of the cash grabs will see ya, goodbye. They're going to disappear, and the actual artist will remain. And this Beeple, maybe in the future, it's going to go up in value. Maybe it's not, but there will be other pieces by Beeple that are certainly going to 10x, 20x, 30x. You're not going to see those returns anywhere else. But in order to get into this space, you have to know what you're doing, because you can lose your money. And I've seen a lot of people lose their money through Nifty Gateway. So one last thing I wanted to mention, who is Beeple? There's more information that we're going to be discussing about him in future videos. It's not like he is an unknown. He has been featured in the Louis Vuitton Women's Spring 2019 fashion collection, and he's worked with Ariana Grande, One Direction, Nicki Minaj, Eminem, Zedd, Deadmau5, and many more to create visuals for the concerts. And out of those, we have a few artists who have actually produced NFTs themselves. Artists in terms of musicians and other celebrities. So this guy is not the typical wealthy individual. He just became rich right now. And I think a lot of people wanted him to become rich. He's based in Wisconsin. And he has said that his work on a JPEG had as much craft, message, nuance, and intent as anything made on a physical canvas. Artists have been using hardware and software to create artwork and distribute it on the internet for the last 20 years. But there was never really a way to truly own and collect it. With NFTs, that has now changed. I believe we're witnessing the beginning of the next chapter in art history, and some of these multi-millionaire art collectors do actually agree with him. So if you go to his Instagram, which I'm going to link down below, you can see some of the crazy details that he has put into it. And starting from the beginning of this 5,000 day project, which I think is absolutely really cool. I don't think this was his end goal at all. I think he just wanted to find something, start working with it, and the whole 10,000 days, 10,000 hours till you're perfect at it. The first pieces that he made maybe weren't that great, but he definitely perfected his skills. It was a hobby, it was something for him to do, and now it's turned into his job. So for all the people who are jealous out there or who have no idea what this is, just as people didn't understand Bitcoin at the very beginning of it, there's going to be a fair amount of people who are going to say, oh, it's a scam and this is a stupid investment, but they have no idea what they're talking about, because these are people who don't even probably have 100,000 or forget about that, not even $1,000 in their bank account. And if a billionaire is spending close to $100 million for something, I'm pretty sure that he thinks that there's a fair amount of value in it. I mean, a 255-year-old London auction house, first of all, had listed this, and second of all, believes in it. So the times are changing. So that's today's video. Thanks for watching about Beeple and his $69.3 million record. What do you think about this? Let me know down in the comment section below. And I am off to invest in my first NFTs right now, because I am going to make videos about this, but I have been in 5 drawings so far, didn't win any. Yesterday's chances were 3%, so that's all right. I entered 3 drawings yesterday, didn't win anything. They were profitable for the people who did win. But today is another collection. This time it's going to be a limited edition collection. It's one of the last collections from this particular musician, artist, and they've done pretty well for the past drops that they've had. It's only $333, the starting. There's multiple pieces from the collection, but I'm going to buy 2 of them, keep 1, resell 1, see how it goes, play around with it. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and leave a like, comment, and share. Peace.